Howdy! How's everybody out there in Patreonville today? Trying to get this camera to set up here the way I want it to get you the right angle on what we're about to do. In the last episode, I showed you how I carved the fishing lures. There is a fishing lure that I carved. Now, you'll notice that it's white. That is because after I got it all carved out and sanded down the way I wanted it, I painted them white with acrylic paint for a background. Then I put eye hooks in the tail, in the belly, and in the nose. Because all I did is I poked a hole. You saw me do that in the video where I poked the little hole with the stylus so that I could get the eyelet started in there threaded. I mixed up a little epoxy and I dipped the threads of the eye hook in the epoxy, and then I screwed them into the piece of wood in all three places. Now I've got a pile of these over here, and what I'm about to do is I'm about to hydro dip them. And I'll show you what that is. This is pretty cool. You take spray paint and you spray it on the water, and then you dip the lure into the water. Now I'm getting a bunch of my spray paint up here. I should have had this done before I started the video. I thought I had everything rounded up, and quite obviously I did not. So let me back up a step here and get my paint. I gotta move a few things to get to that. Show you this process here. I've got 5 colors of spray paint, and I'll mix them up as I go with this, but I use 2 or 3 colors at a time on these. And in the last batch that I sprayed, I found out that black is extreme. Well, I already knew it, but I didn't realize how much it was even in spray paint. Black is very aggressive. So you go sparingly with that black, or you're going to end up with a lot of black fishing lures. And I'm going to start out with a little green on the water. And then, let's see, this one, that's white. I've already got them white, so I don't know that I want to put that in there too much right now. We'll go with a little red. Maybe a little more of that. And a little yellow. And I'll set them off to the side there so they're out of the way. Now, I take my fishing lure, and I keep looking there at the back of my camera to make sure I got this right so you can see it. And I put my pliers on either end. It doesn't really matter which end goes in first, but put the pliers on there. Now, I'm going to take a little craft stick here, and I'm going to move the paint around some on the water. Since this is the first dipping, I may need to, I'm going to have to put more than that in there. This is clumping up way too fast on the water here. So, let me get that out of there. And paper towel. Wipe that off. Let's do that again. See, sometimes you got to start over with your project a little bit. We're going to put a little green on the water there. Put a little red on top of that. There we go. And then we'll get a little yellow going. You can use any colors you want. This is just regular Krylon spray paint that I got up at the Walmart store. And nothing spectacular about it, just spray paint, oil-based spray paint. And let me get this back in the pliers again here. There we go. We got it in the pliers. And I'm going to take my craft stick. Well, shoot, shucky darn. There we go. And we're going to move that paint just a little bit to get it so that it'll put a marble on it. There we go. That's looking much better. And then, if you don't like the way it looks the first time you dip it in, you can always take it in again. And Some people move the paint out of the way. I don't. I leave it in. I like to get like 2 coats on it. And there it is, all painted up. You say, well, okay, now you got painted, what are you going to do with it? You can't sit there and hold it in the pliers all day. Well, I took some wire. Now, this is electric fence wire. I get it at the farm store on a big old spool. Get a big old spool for about 15 bucks. And I use it for all kinds of projects. But I make me a hook for it. And now I'm going to hang that on a piece of wood over a bucket. There's a piece of wood. And I'll put this hook right over the piece of wood. And this is going to hang right over top of a bucket. And you can't see everything I'm doing here, so my lens ain't big enough, but I can hang a bunch of them over a bucket. I've got a couple buckets here because I got so many of these to do. But let's get another one. Get this party started here. You don't want them to touch when you hang them in the bucket because they'll stick together if you do. And this one, we'll put right down through that paint. And then there's some green over here. I want to pick some of that up on him. So I'll run him over here. Some of that yellow and green. And I don't like the other side of him so much, so I'm going to take him back down a little bit in that. And pull some of that yellow up on that other side. There we go. There he goes. Just like that. And then, in the other end of him, from the pliers, I take my wire, put it down through the eyelet, and thread him up. Whoops, that's the wrong end of my eyelet. I want him on the rounded end. Squared end goes on the wood. There we go. Get him on there. Just like that. Now you'll notice I'm wearing gloves for this project. And that is because this is oil-based paint. So it's difficult to get off your hands. So you might want to wear some gloves for this, or you're going to be getting out the kerosene or something to cut it off of you. The reason I hold it in the pliers instead of on the wire to begin with is because if you put it just on the wire, since that's loose, kind of floaty on there, it will tend to bob up in the water on you and you'll not get a good coating on your fish or on your lure. Now, that's starting to stick on there a little bit. The paint's starting to dry. Let's pull that off. And there he is, all marbled up and painted. And we'll get him on a hook over here and hang him on a bucket. Let him dry. Well, spread my wire out just a little bit to go with that wood. There we go. Got 3 in that one. Now, get me a little in here. Let's go for a little in. And like I said, that paint's starting to dry. So let's pull that up out of there. And put some more in. So you just wind it around, and it pulls it right up on your craft stick, and you wipe it off in your paper towel. You can see that I've done this before because look at my bucket where it's got paint all over the sides of it. Now, this time, I think I am going to mix a little black into it. So, we're going to start with a green. Nice coating of green in there. And we don't need a whole lot of black. Just a little bit of that in there. And I'm going to use red with that. Okay, we got that. We'll get the fishy. We got the fishy. Little fishy lure. Should have stirred that paint up a little bit more. I'll just chase him around through the water there. Get what I want on him. There we go. That green makes it look like he's got a little moss on his back. Now, I balled up here on him. Since I'm wearing gloves, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull some of that off of him where it balled up. So we don't want that on there. And there he is. Just like that. Looking good. Looking good, Mr. Fishy. Let's get him on a wire. get him over some wood here. Well, we need to spread that out a little bit more. It's not going over the wood. There he goes. And he's hanging. Now, I'll do a couple more for you here. And then I'll shut it down. You'll be right back with me, but it'll be like tomorrow. We want these to dry. I want to get Krylon on them and all that. And then I got to get hooks in them. So, there's a nice piece right there. We pull up. And when you get a string on it, you just pop that loose. And there he is. Take one of the wires. I'm going to start another bucket now so I don't get these too crowded up in one. Get me on a piece of wood, hang it up. You hear Fred. Fred's rooting me on over there. He's my cheerleader. Okay, here's another one. I got enough paint in there to do one more. If the paint will cooperate with me. And the paint's drying, so it's going to try to clump. And there we go. He's hydro dipped. Get that off my glove. I'll be sticking to everything. There we go. He's all painted. Oops. Well, tried to pull string off and the whole thing came off to one side. So let's pull a little bit more paint on there if we can. There we go. That's looking better. And there's not too much to pull off the water there with that. But we'll get what's on there up before I paint any more. So, there you have the basics of hydro dipping the fishing lures. Let them dry, then you can coat them with Krylon, then it's time to put the treble hooks on them, and once you get the treble hooks on and close up the eye hooks good, they're done, they're ready to sell. So that's how we do it. I hope you enjoyed this part of it. I'll be right back with you. It'll be tomorrow for me. Okay, we're back. I've got them all painted. I got them all dry. I put Krylon on all of them, and that is dry. And now they are ready for hooks. So I'll do a couple of them here for you and show you how this works. First off, when we coated them with Krylon, you know, they were hanging on those wires, and so the Krylon could just run right down the piece. And I'm going to take my pliers and clean that eyelet out there where it has paint and Krylon on it. You'll have a little cleanup to do, but it's not much on these, just on these eye hooks, because we got to get them opened up enough to slide the fishing hook on it, treble hook. Move that over just a little bit there, and check this one out. It needs a little help. Get it opened up. I had these opened up before I put them on here, but once they get paint on them, you gotta get that paint back off of them enough to open them up again. There we go, that's open. This one's open. I think enough to get the hooks on. Now I got this box of hooks. There's some 8s, some 10s, some 12s, and 14s of these treble hooks in here. And you be careful when you're messing with these because they're sharp. You know, that's the idea of the whole thing. And I think on this one I'm going to use 10. Let's see if I can get one not all tangled up there without getting stuck. And you take it and you slide it down over that. My eyes aren't real good anymore, but see if you can slide it over the end of that eyelet. I may have to open it up just a touch. Looks like it needs a little more help. Now when I open these, I twist them to the side. I don't try to pull them open. You twist them, and that way you can just twist them right back. If you go trying to pull them open, it's more difficult to get them closed. There, got the hook right around that. And then I'm going to twist that right back to close it, so that it holds the hook in place. Right like that. Oops, guess I didn't get it closed enough, did I? Well, son of a gun. This is the time to find that out. You don't want to take it to a show and somebody pick it up to look at it and the hook's falling off of it. Like I say, my eyes ain't what they used to be. I ought to have my magnifiers on to be doing this, I guess. But I'm trying not to admit that I'm old. Yeah, that should have it. That to the back good. No, not coming off there now. Alright. That's what I like to see. And the way I gauge the size of hooks that I use, the smaller ones get the smaller ones, the medium size gets the medium hooks, larger ones get larger hooks. You know, there's no real rocket science to this. I just do it all by eye. Any of them will catch a fish. There we go, we got that one. I'll even try to pull that off there and see if I can get it pulled off. I'm sure I got it closed. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. Okay. And one more. Like I say, these are very sharp, so be very careful when you're messing with these things. You don't want to get one hung on you. There, got that one on. Let me close that up. And I shake it all around. Make sure they're not going to come off. So there's one done. Now I've got a whole pile of these to do. So let's see. We'll pick up another in here. Try this old big boy here. He's looking pretty good. Check the rings on him. See if anything needs to be cleaned up or opened up. That end needs to be opened up a little bit. Get some of the paint off of it to get the hook on it. Right there off the end. It still needs twisted a little bit. There we go. Now this is a bigger one. I'm going to use big hooks on this. This is going to go with the red 14s. Just get them out here ready to rock. Get them untangled. There we go. Yeah. Since that end's trying to be persnickerty with me, we'll just start there. I'm one to start with the hardest thing first because They say if you eat a live toad first thing in the morning, the rest of your day's going to be great. So you get rid of the hardest part first. And the rest of it should be gravy. Man, saying gravy, that's making me hungry. I haven't had food today. Mash it right back in there where it goes. Good and tight. And that hook ain't coming off. Good. Because when fish grabs a hold of that thing, you don't want it yanking the hook off. Oops. Trying to keep this where you can see what I'm doing, and the camera's sort of in my way. Come on, hooky, get on there. Well, I'm going to open it up just a little more. Needs a tiny bit more room to get on there. So just take my pliers and bend it out a little bit. Well, just about on. There we go. I don't want to open them 6 ways to Sunday and have them, you know, gaping wide open and all that room that's got to be closed up. You just need a little bit of room to get them done. Okay, that's looking good right there. And so there's another one. Hold it there so you can see it. It's got the hooks right on it. So that's how we do that. So now you've seen from carving to sanding to, see what we do next. We carved, we sanded, I poked the holes in them, I put the eye hooks in, I hydro dipped them, I put the Krylon on them, and then I put the hooks on them, and they're done. So there you have it. That's how this works. And I hope you enjoyed this. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And spread this around. You know, let people know about my Patreon page. This is how I'm trying to bring you some quality, not just, well, entertainment, but some education on how to do some of these crafts. So with that done, I'll just say, Brenda's Crafty. Be like Brenda. Thanks.